Monks are one of my favorite classes in D&D, alongside bards, probably, and some others. If I make a long list, it really depletes the meaning of me having a favorite class. Anyway, as someone that has done martial arts for a lot of their life, the monk power fantasy is one which I resonate with, and the fact that you can do things like grow astral arms or punch with fire is just cool. I like it. They also happen to be next up alphabetically in our third-party feats list, so I thought we would check out some monk feats. Normal sentence. First up, we'll start off with the origin feats, as we always do, and we are kicking things off with Bloodhound, not altered. Nice change of pace, isn't it? Bloodhound is an origin feat from the Grim Hollow Player's Guide. It makes you aware of any creature that moves within 10 feet of you, as long as it is small or larger and you're not unconscious, which is fantastic. It also gives you advantage on your perception checks that rely on sound or smell, which again is generally very, very good for monks because you're going to be putting points into wisdom anyway, and perception is a skill I think monks do very, very well in. It leans into the scouty nature of some of the efficiency mushroom. It leads into the scout role that they can fulfill very, very well. So I like this one a lot. Also from the Grim Hollow Player's Guide is Convincing Inquisitor. This makes it easier for you to use the influence action, basically, whether creatures are hostile or not. It reduces the disadvantage if a creature is hostile, and it actually gives you advantage on any checks against indifferent creatures. And while normally this would only be relevant for charisma-based characters, this actually lets you use any ability modifier if you're trying to intimidate or persuade someone, which means you can use your wisdom or even your dex if that's what you're maining. This helps you be better at intimidation and persuasion, and I think monks should be better at that generally, so this is cool. Along with that, when you succeed on an insight check to detect lies or evasive answers, you have advantage on initiative rolls against that or in any combats involving that creature for the next hour. Also from the Grim Hollow's Player Guide, I swear this is one of the most important third-party books you can buy for yourself if you haven't already done so and somehow watch my videos, because I talk about it constantly. Deathbound. It gives you advantage on your final saving throw, basically, if you have 2 death saving throw failures. And also when you spend a hit point die during a short rest, you can roll it twice and use the higher roll. It just makes you a bit sturdier, which can be really, really useful. Fate Gambler is from the Crooked Moon book, also a fantastic. If you're going to get 2, get the Grim Hollow one and the Crooked Moon ones. Technically, they're both 2 books, but I promise it's worth it. This gives you heroic inspiration if you don't already have it whenever you succeed on an ability check against another creature, such as a grapple. When you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, which you're going to be doing a lot, or when a creature fails a saving throw you forced it to make, such as a trip, for example, if you're using weapon masteries with a monk, but more likely your stunning strikes. It allows you to also use your heroic inspiration as a bonus action to gain a number of temp health equal to your level. Heroic inspiration can be very, very useful for just gaining advantage on your hits as a monk. Monks can get access to Vex and other ways of gaining advantage, but not every monk subclass is good at that. This is a nice way to get it more consistently. Back to Grim Hollow again. Resolution of the Syndicate is probably the weakest of the bunch in terms of for monks specifically. It gives you an extra d4 damage to your first attack on your first turn after an initiative roll. This goes up to 2d4 at level 9 and 4d4 at level 16, which is something. It's not amazing, but it's something. It also gives you take the feat, and an extra 1 hit point per level as well. So it's a bit like the tough feat in that regard, which is good, because monks need health. On to the general feat options now. We have Death Defier from the Crooked Moon book. This allows you to increase your con score, which is still good for monks, I promise, even though my level 17 monk has 14 con. Don't tell anyone. I only build glass cannons. It's bad, guys. It's bad. Anyway, you get to increase your con by 1. You also get to add your con modifier to your death saving throws, which makes you a lot harder to kill. And if an effect would kill you outright without death saving throws, or would reduce you directly to 0 hit points without dealing damage, you're instead reduced to a number of hit points equal to your level, which is niche but useful. You can only do that once per long rest, but if it's unlikely to happen more than once per long rest unless your DM is fantastically evil. Respect to that DM. Focused Critical is a must on basically any character that wants to deal damage. It lets you increase your strength or dex by 1, and it allows your weapon and unarmed strikes to crit on a 19 or a 20 on a d20, which is good stuff. I should make an elf monk at some point. Elven accuracy is just good. Anyway, that was from Valdor's Spire of Secrets. This is also from Valdor's Spire of Secrets. Iron Hero increases your strength or dex by 1. If you're attacked by a creature with a CR higher than your level, you gain a +2 bonus to your AC for that attack. You also get advantage on attack rolls against any creature that's reduced one of your allies to 0 hit points since the end of your last turn. And when an Enemy you can see takes a legendary action. You can use your reaction to stop it. You can do this number of time equal to your proficiency bonus, and you get those all back on a long rest. I say this every time I talk about this should be within your melee range or something. If you take this, chat to your DM about it, because this does need a tweak. You shouldn't be able to do this from, a different plane. Doesn't say anything about it. So it says you have to be able to see them, but monks have good eyes generally. So. Opportunistic Thief is kind of a pet favourite of mine. It's from the Humblewood campaign setting. It allows you to increase your dexterity by 1, and when a creature fails a melee attack against you, you can make a sleight of hand check against the creature with a DC of 10 plus the target's dex modifier. On a success, you can steal something they have that they're not holding or wearing. Also, if you're stealing an object outside of combat, you can conceal it flawlessly or put another object in its place. It's just fun. I wasn't going to cover any of the weapon feats, but this is a really good one because obviously monks can make advantage of a lot of cool weapons. You could be a dart throwing monk, for example. Also kind of want to build that now. Thrown Weapon Master is from the Grim Hollow Player's Guide. It increases your strength or dex. If you take the attack action to make a ranged attack using a simple weapon that has the thrown property, you can use a bonus action to make 2 more ranged attacks with simple weapons that have the thrown property. All of your thrown weapons also come back to you thanks to the returning property, and as a bonus action, you can retrieve or stow all simple weapons with the thrown property that are within 5 feet of you. It's just cool. It's one of my favourite feats. Because it's cool, just nifty. And with monks, because you can use your monk die in place of the normal weapon die, you could do this with pebbles, for example. And ain't that just the coolest thing going? Finally, we have Witch Hunter, which is from the Grim Hollow Player's Guide as well. You can increase your strength, con, or wisdom by 1. Likely to be wisdom, but you might be playing a strength monk too. You can take a reaction to avoid a spell that's only targeting you and doesn't have an area of effect. You make a wisdom saving throw against the caster's spell save DC. On a successful save, that the creature must choose a new target or the spell is cancelled. A cancel spell dissipates with no effect, and any resources used to cast it are wasted. This is a counter spell, basically, which is kind of cool. You can do that as many times as you want to. That's pretty strong, right? It is niche that you'd be surprised at how few spells only target one person, but whole person, for example, this would work on. Along with that, if you hit a creature that can cast spells with an attack roll using a melee weapon or unarmed strike, you can reduce its speed by 15 feet until the start of your next turn. That means you can completely reduce a creature's speed if you are a monk, because you can hit so many times, and you get advantage on saving throws against Shadow Steel curses and spells with a duration of more than 10 minutes. Which is also very nifty. This is a fantastic feat. I think it's in a similar vein to Mage Slayer, which is also a very, very good option. I like this one more on monks, I think, but they're both good. But that is it. I like doing these videos. They're a lot lower lift than many of the other ones, and the fighter video is by far and away the longest one I've done, so it's a nice change of pace to go back to monks. I wish there were more solid feat options for monks. I feel like the unarmed classes get the short end of the stick, but hey, you also get a lot of flexibility. High level monks are nuts. My level 17 monk is preposterous. You get proficiency in every saving throw. Do you know that? Wild! It's wild. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated as we're whizzing towards 1,400 and then 1,500 and then beyond subscribers. I'm deeply honoured that any of you would spend any of your time watching my silly videos. It does mean a lot, genuinely. But I hope that you take care and that you have fun until whenever you see me next. Have a good week, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.